Ladies and gentlemen, I have a somber news for you. UK and Japan is now in recession. The question right now is Singapore going to be next? If Singapore is going to be hit with recession, your property market and your stock market in Singapore might just be hit. So if you want to hear my analysis, please watch on. Okay? So, the Japanese economy has officially go into 2 quarters of negative GDP growth and is no longer the world's third largest economy. At one point in time, after US, Japan is the next largest economy. Then over time, China overtook them, and today I cannot believe it. Right, the Japanese economy is now being overtaken now by Germany, and it is now the fourth largest economy. So it's not doing well economically, and that's quite a serious problem. Now, they are not the only one that is in trouble. The UK is in trouble as well. UK has also just gone into recession with 2 quarters of negative GDP, and this is the worst performance in years. So is something that is very concerning, because these are global economies with a lot of economic strength and power, right? And at one point in time, our UK was once upon a time a colonial master. So the colonial master is not so good anymore. They are not the only one is in recession. Russia is in recession. Okay, that has since happening since they went to the war and kena a lot of economic sanctions. But there are other countries that are near recession, okay, borderline recession and things like that. Many of them. The New Zealand is right now borderline recession. Australia is also in borderline recession. Germany, which is the world's third largest economy right now, is also on borderline recession. So they are not the only one. There are many more, of which one of the country that is pretty controversial is China. In my personal opinion, China is probably in recession, depending how you measure it. Their official numbers doesn't say it, but if you look at all the signs and all the indicators in the property sectors, in their stock market and things like that, is leading towards a near recession, if not already in recession as well. So all these are pretty troubling times. So we have the world second, third, fourth economy, or maybe fifth economy, all in trouble. It can't be as Singapore is not in trouble, right? Well, fortunately, there is a bright spark, bright spark among all this gloomy story. There is one economy that is doing fantastically well, unbelievably, and that country is USA. Okay, US is doing very, very well. The economy of US, in fact, is registering several quarters of very strong economic growth, right? So, in fact, the growth is so red hot that Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve Chairman, is delaying the interest rate cut, because the economy is still red hot, right? The inflation is still not coming down because the economy is doing well. So, we have got the US doing well and the rest of the world not doing well, okay? What will happen to Singapore?
In order to hear my analysis, please always remember to hit like and subscribe, especially subscribe, because we will give real-time information that is on YouTube channel. We will also have discussion on Telegram channel that you will find useful.
Okay, so let's watch on. The first thing we need to first understand is, why are so many global economies in such a bad economic shape? Okay, and the story is actually quite simple. So it all started with COVID, right? COVID started in 2019, and we are still experiencing the lingering effect. Well, COVID started off, and there was an economic stagnation, right? Just total standstill. And what did the US Federal Reserve do? They implemented this thing called QE Unlimited, Quantitative Easing Unlimited. Basically means printing, and printing lots of money, okay? And when they print money, what will happen? It causes inflation, and prices start going up and up and up. You know what's the problem? They own the international currency, and when they start printing money, they flood the whole world with excessive currency, and they export out the inflation as well. So globally, every country is experiencing inflation. You are experiencing inflation. I'm experiencing inflation right now in JB, in KL, in Korea, in every country with exception of China. Every one of them is experiencing inflation right now. So now with inflation, what does the Federal Reserve do? They then increase their interest rates. Okay, and when you increase the interest rate, what happens? And when you increase the interest rate to that huge quantity, 5% from zero, within a few months, many economic activity got pulled back, right? People borrow less and have to pay a lot more in interest charges, and this caused a lot of economic activity to slow down. So the interest rate hike then spread across the world, because if US interest rate is high, the rest of the interest rate have to go up. If not, all their money will flow to US and their currency will start to depreciate. By the way, that happened to Japan. So what did the rest of the world economy do? They increased the interest rate. That's why you are experiencing a high interest rate right now for your monthly mortgages. So globally, we now have a high interest rate that literally pull down all the economic activity, resulting in so much recession or near recession right now. So the question really is, will Singapore also go into recession? Let me give you the facts. Number one is Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong said no. Last year, we avoided a recession. And this year, he thinks that the economic signs are showing a better economic momentum. And that's great. That's great. So obviously, Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong will see more data than I do. So I think, we should take a more optimistic view because he says so. Now, if you read other indicators, the other indicators are also showing some sign of recovery. Last year was our economic sectors, electronic sectors, was pretty bad. Okay, electronic sectors were having a slump for a long time. Now there's recovering. The exports are now are recovering. Singapore, by the way, is a strong electronic hub of the world. The MAS is now seeing that there is a good recovery in our electronic and the financial sector as well. That's great. Well, with the stock market of the world now shooting up, especially in the US, Singapore, will tend to benefit from some of these things as well as the financial sector. So we are riding certain sectors booming that drive the entire economy. Fortunately for us, foreign investment is still coming in. A lot of all these rich people are coming to Singapore, okay? And in fact, some of it too much, and some of you are, KBing, right? That a lot of them are buying up the cars and houses and things like that. Well, these foreign investment, when they come in, they create jobs and companies and things like that. So we take comfort from it. A lot of tourists are coming in, right? And our SIA is now booking, millions of passengers coming to Singapore, on a monthly basis, and that's a great sign, right? That's a great sign. So all this helps to stimulate our local economy. So the GDP of Singapore has one more driving force, which is our construction sector. The HDB are now building up rampantly because we are now having a long queues in our BTO. So the Minister Desmond Lee is pushing a lot of all this construction to happen so that we can catch up with the queues. So construction sector is also booming as well. So we do have all these bright sparks. Now, clearly, there are some sectors that are not doing well, and some of you all have a threat of being laid off and some retrenchment or even pay cut threat. But generally speaking, the signs are leading to a non-recession position for Singapore for 2024. Could it change? Well, it could be possible maybe, in 2 or 3 quarters time. But right now, the signs are looking good. Okay, looking good. It's not saying that we will have economic boom, but we will most likely avoid a recession that we are seeing right now in Japan, in the UK, and in some other parts of the world as well. So in that sense, take heed. Our economy will still do fairly okay, still resilient, thanks to the wisdom of our government. They have actually controlled everything pretty well, and I don't think we need to panic and get worried. Okay. With this, thank you. I hope you learn something from this thing and share my thought. If you agree with me or disagree with me, please leave a comment in this video. And if you have some insights that we cannot see, maybe in your own industry, your own company, or whatever, let us know as well, and we will take these points of data and provide some more analysis. Okay. With this, thank you, and I'll see you in a day or two. Bye bye.